Hello students, how are you? Good morning. Welcome to biology class. I hope you all have done well with your unit test. Now let's start with the next topic, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Before I start with this topic, I know you all have done this types of reproduction, sexual reproduction, and what is asexual reproduction, and the types of asexual reproduction you have done in the previous lectures. Now we will start with this sexual reproduction in flowering plants. First we will do the flowering plants. Sexual reproduction means where the two sexes are involved. One is male and the other is female, and that give rise to formation of a zygote. Now let's study this sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Hibiscus is not available here nearby, otherwise I would have shown you the hibiscus flower. That is very clear to you. It becomes very clear to the students then. Okay, let's continue with this diagram. If we look at a flower, we see the colored petals in the flower. You all have done this introduction in the previous junior classes also. Let's recapitulate it. A flower, it is the reproductive part of a flower, reproductive part of a plant. Now, if we look at this flower, it has beautiful petals. The petals are of different color. Some in rose it is red, then it is bright yellow, it is green, it is purple. There are different colors which are available in the petals. Petals, the basic function of petals is to attract the pollinators. These are the petals. Petals, number of petals may vary in the different plants. Then we have the sepals, the green colored leaf-like structures which are present at the base of the flower, that is called as sepals. They are mainly protective in function. Petals and then the sepals. One thing I want to mention here, the group of petals, it is called corolla. And the group of sepals, it is called calyx. Calyx and corolla. The next part, that is the base of the flower, it is called as thalamus. I hope this is clear to you. Petals, sepals and thalamus. Now coming to the reproductive structures of a plant, because these petals and these sepals and the thalamus, they do not take part directly in the sexual reproduction. We have this, the male and the female reproductive structures in the flower. This also you have done in, I think, class 7 also. Class 7 you have done it very clearly, if you remember class 7. Now look here, the female reproductive part. First we will talk about the female reproductive part. The female reproductive part, that is called as pistil. Pistil, or it is called as gynoecium, pistil, or it is called as carpel. There are three words we can add, we can denote, this signifier to the female reproductive part of a flower. One is the carpel, other we call it as the pistil also, or we call it as the gynoecium also. Now pistil has three parts. This is the first part that you can see here, it is called as stigma. I hope you are able to recapitulate it from the previous classes. This part, this elongated part, it is called as style. Stigma, style, and the third part which I have labeled it, it is called as ovary. Stigma, style and ovary. This is pistil, and that is the female reproductive part. Coming to the male reproductive part, we have male reproductive part as anther, and the second part is filament. This anther plus filament makes up the stamen. Stamen and carpel. Stamen, it is also called as androecium. I am repeating it. Stamen has two parts, one is anther and the other is filament, and that is the male reproductive part. Stamen is also called as androecium. When we come to the female reproductive parts, the female reproductive structure part, it is called as carpel or pistil or gynoecium, which has three further parts. One is stigma and the other is style, and the third one is ovary. This diagram is very important. This is the longitudinal section of a flower, and it is a very important structure, important diagram for your exams. Now look here, this, if first we'll talk about the stamen. I am erasing this diagram now. Just look at this diagram carefully. Now we will study the male and the female reproductive structure a little bit in detail. Now see, first is stamen. Stamen, that is the male reproductive part. This is anther and this is filament. Anther and filament. This anther, normally it is bilobed in structure and produces small structures which are the male reproductive structures. Those are called as pollen grains. If hibiscus is available to you in the month of hibiscus will be available to you very soon. Look at the powdery structure, yellow powdery structure at the tip of the anther. That the small, very minute structures, these are called as the pollen grains. They actually help in the process of sexual reproduction. Pollen grains, anther and filament, and this whole structure, male reproductive structure, it is called as the stamen. Is this clear now? The male reproductive part. Now, the female reproductive part, that is, yes, the pistil or gynoecium or the carpel. It has three parts: stigma, style, and solan base part, which is called as ovary. This is the stigma, this is style, and this is ovary. Inside the ovule, there is ovules. Inside the ovary, there are ovules present. Ovule is a part of embryo sac. Stigma, style, and ovary. The pollen grains, after the process of pollination, they will land on the stigma, and then the pollen tube formation will start. The pollen tube forms and the pollen tube reaches the ovary here into the ovule. Please listen very carefully. The pollen grains, after when the pollination process, I am sorry to interrupt, let us discuss this pollination process. Pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the female part, it is called as pollination. There are two types of pollination. One is the self-pollination and the other is the cross-pollination. Self-pollination is the type of pollination when the pollen grains get transferred within the same flower, that is the self-pollination. And when the pollen grains land on the from anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, that is called as cross-pollination. There are various pollinating agents like wind, like insect, like birds, like animals. There are so many in water also. There are so many pollinating agents that help in this process. And this process, it is very important process towards the reproduction, sexual reproduction. Now, this pollen grains, when they land on the stigma, they form a pollen tube. And if you remember, we have done in control and coordination in positive chemotropism, that pollen tube formation occurs here because of the chemical that is released, positively chemotropic, that help in the growth of pollen tube. One pollen grain produces two male gamete. This is very important point to remember. I will discuss it further, that how the reproduction will occur. One pollen grain produces two male gametes, and they are transferred towards the ovary and enters the ovule. Stigma, style, and ovary. This is about the parts of the flower only. Now, if we look on the basis of the parts of the flower, or the male and the female reproductive parts, there are two types of flowers. One, we call it as the unisexual flowers, and the other we call it as the bisexual flowers. These are again very important terms. Unisexual flowers and the bisexual flowers. Unisexual flowers are those flowers which contain either the stamen or the carpel. Either stamen or the carpel. That means the flower is either male or female. Either it has stamen or it has carpel. इनकी एग्जाम्पल्स, द एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ दीज यूनिसेक्सुअल फ्लावर्स, that is papaya is one of the example, and watermelon is another such example. Now bisexual flowers are those flowers which contain both stamen also and carpel also within the same flower. Within the same flower, the diagram which I showed you before, that is the diagram of a bisexual flower. Example is hibiscus. Hibiscus is a very good example of this. Hibiscus is the example of these bisexual flowers which contain both male part also and the female part also. This is about the parts of the flower, the process of the parts of a flower and the types of flower and the pollination. In the next video I will be uploading the process of sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. Do watch this video again and let us discuss the queries further. Okay, just read your NCERT, look at the diagram and study all the details, then we will continue with the doubt sessions also. In the next video I will be uploading you the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants, the process. Thank you. Bye bye.